In this clip we will explore leadership shadow and triggered behavior from the heroic stages. Very interesting subject. But what is shadow and what is a triggered behavior?
Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah.
Shadow are simply the things in ourselves that we are not aware of yet. Patterns, behaviors that are in the shadow.
Yeah. And triggers are like events that is triggering one of our inner figures in their fear. That awakens and triggers, for example, my opportunist in the fear of not being safe, or my diplomat in the fear of not belonging. In a way that makes that figure take over. And I will act from that figure. Leadership shadow and triggers from the heroic stages. Why is that important?
This is important because it has such huge impact on ourselves, our leadership, and on others. When we get triggered into a leadership shadow of the heroic stages, we lose our full capability, we lose our full selves, we lose our full power, and act and view the world only from my inner opportunist or diplomat or expert or achiever. And in that, we will act from fear. Being triggered, we will act from fear.
And that is always hugely destructive in the context in which we're acting. So unless we want to be destructive as leaders, and most of us don't. We benefit very much from getting to spot our own leadership shadow and triggers to act constructively. Starting with the opportunist, perhaps?
The opportunist, holding the fear of not being in control of my own situation, not being safe.
So a triggered opportunist or leadership shadow from the opportunist often is forceful. You will do as I say because I say so, because I have the power. It can show in power games of different kind, protecting my own back, my own position on the cost of others. And situations that might trigger this are, of course, a million different situations and different for every one of us.
It could be a reorganization, for example, where I don't feel safe. I don't feel that I am in control of my own situation, and I want to regain that power.
Or if you have a manager that either treats you badly or just simply don't listen, making you unsafe in your position, or reinforcing or forcing you to work extra time, losing control of your own situation.
Or being addressed with power games from others can also really trigger the inner opportunist to regain power.
The diplomat, holding the fear of being rejected, or holding the fear of conflict.
And the leadership shadow from the trigger diplomat is just that, avoiding conflict. Avoiding conflict is so important that I might not voice my opinion. Might not tell if I see something that is wrong, but stay within the boundaries of my in-group to feel safe in that belonging.
Like dodge conflict in the group. That is, or maybe apparent around the table, but let's pretend it's not there. We have all seen it, and most of us has been there too. Situations that might trigger this, of course, it varies from person to person. Reorganization is typically one. Will I belong? Will I have my group, my belonging?
Being in a new social setting, a new team, a New organization.
Yeah. Having a new superior.
Yeah.
Someone with the informal status that you need to show yourself worthy to. There are a lot of examples, new managers coming with directives that are not questioned. Even though I feel that, wow, this is just ridiculous. I grind my teeth and I do it. and yeah, that is typically the triggered diplomat.
The expert, our inner expert, holds the fear of not having the answer, of not knowing, or being wrong.
Yeah. Or not making perfect.
Yeah.
And the most common leadership shadow or trigger behavior from the expert is the micromanaging. Since I'm the expert, since I know, I will instruct you how to do this. And that is totally devastating when when trying to get your employees to grow. So micromanagement is the most common.
Yeah. When do we see that?
Often when there is a lot of focus on we need a solution and we need it now, and you better make it work. So big scopes, big challenges, and tight deadlines.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
And also the culture of managers, leaders, with the expected knowing of details, reporting details to their leaders, really gets into that need to know things, to have all the data.
Since you're the boss, you're expected to have the answer to every question.
Yeah.
No. Please don't let me be the boss.
No. Oh.
And the achiever, finally. The achiever carrying fear of not being enough. Fear of not performing. And also fear of not advancing, not getting more, not growing.
Yeah. And being triggered in this, the achiever who likes to delegate and wishes to encourage teamwork has difficulties of really letting go.
Yeah.
So keeping control of things, delegating, promoting teamwork, but still holding all the threads in my hands.
Yeah. You've probably seen it or experienced it from one end or the other. Hey, I needed you to do this, and I delegate to you. And then a day or two later, or a week later, how is it going? This information came to me, and can we just review how you thought of this, how you're planning this? So being there constantly with intention to help, but really not letting go, delegating and keeping control. Also tight deadlines, a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
May trigger the achiever shadow or the achiever.
Yeah. And the feeling of not being certain of my position. If I don't feel safe, I need to prove my performing abilities.
Yeah.
Prove that I am reaching goals,
Yeah.
Deadlines.
So extremely performance-oriented organizations will trigger the achiever in us, where we focus on performance. Your worth is determined by your performance, not by who you are. And that, over time, is devastating for human beings. So basically, by getting acquainted to these leadership shadows, we can engage in the sometimes painful journey of realizing, oh, I hold these from time to time, and we can start to meet them. Start to see the figures and give them the attention, the love that they are longing for.
Yeah. and meet them in their fear, the fear
Yeah.
of not being in control, not being safe,
Yeah.
and so on, instead of just beating up ourselves for
Yeah.
acting to avoid conflict,
Yeah.
or from force,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
So whenever you get across one of these triggered figures and the fear, tip would be stay with the fear. Stay with the sensation. Get out of your head and stay with the feeling. Because that will train your body that this is not a dangerous feeling. This is not a dangerous place to be. And from there, you will be able to meet your inner figure in an embrace instead of running from the fear.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Cool.